is Gretchen and Annie Gibbons, and we are Donuts and Pie Fitness. And here we are today with Petra Kolber, and she is. All I can tell you is I just told Petra this too, that whenever we interview anybody, they always say, "Oh well, Petra this and Petra that," and we're so yeah, exactly. We are so excited to have her. So she's an author, she's a speaker, podcast host, and a DJ. And for over 30 years, she has been an international, well-known wellness leader. She was named one of the fitness gurus over 50 to follow. She's been awarded Presenter of the Year for basically every conference that you could go to, every fitness organization. She started out as a trained dancer, which I thought was so interesting, in England. She came over to the U.S. on a basically a cruise liner where she was a dancer there. She settled for a while in Miami where she was a dancer and then went to New York. Realized in New York that she could do well in fitness in addition to her dancing career. And she hooked up with Nike. She is
Reebok.
Reebok. Sorry,
Other brand.
It's okay.
Reebok.
See, I was trying to.
I've got a funny story about that though. Remind me to tell you.
Reebok, and then she did Reebok videos. She was the face of these videos, and it was pretty amazing. I know that at that particular time, everybody was just soaking up as many videos as they could. I mean, you're watching on TV. It was so much fun to do. So she's a two-time cancer survivor. She's passionate about waking people up to how precious time is, the precious gift of time. You know, too often we really don't realize that. Her mission is to inspire people to move more, fear less, and build an inspired life full of joy and gratitude. And once we start talking to her, you're going to totally get what we're talking about. She's released her first book in 2018, and I think this is an incredible book to read. I'm about 3/4 of the way through it, and I can't wait to give it to a bunch of people I know who would really benefit from it. It's The Perfection Detox. Take your inner critic, live bravely, and unleash your joy. And there's so many things that I've already taken away from it. And instead of making judgments, there's certain words you say, how you interact with people, how you retrain your brain as far as negativity goes. And I highly, highly recommend it. So let me think what else we're going to talk about. So that's about, I mean, this is her. She's talking about being passionate rather than a perfectionist. And it's an essential guide to a healthy, full, authentic life. And we're so happy to have you here, Petra.
Thank you. It is so good to be. Can I share a quick story, Gretchen?
Yes, please do.
When I first got signed with Reebok, I was so new. I mean, I really I got very blessed. Right time, right accent, right moment. You know, it's beginning to the heyday of step. And I just didn't think. And so they said, "Can you send us a headshot?" I'm like, "Sure." So I sent them a headshot. And the girl who was kind of managing my career at the time, she goes, "You might need to get a new headshot." I'm like, "Why?" She goes, "Look at your sneakers." I went, "Oh, they were Nikes." I was like, "Oops, never made that mistake again." Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Unlike Annie and me, people are like, "You need a new headshot." So because I think we had them taken on our phone in the kitchen. So yeah. So
yeah, one of my headshots I use is really I'm holding a martini. So but I like the picture of me, so I kind of focused it so far into my face the martini's not there. So
I see nothing wrong. Balance, right? It's a bit of fitness, a bit of whatever. Yeah.
So Petra, you said that that your work is inspired and influenced by the power of positive psychology. And I'm wondering what the difference is with that than positive thinking or finding silver linings, or are they one and the same? Can you explain that positive psychology?
Yeah, good question, Annie. So I came across how I came to positive psychology as I had been presenting for many, many years and super happy and so grateful for my career. But I was beginning to see the same questions over and over again. I would see people in the room, remarkable. From the outside looking in, they were remarkable. They'd come up to me afterwards and go, "How do I get rid of this? How do I get rid of it?" I mean, they would see everything that was wrong with them. And so I was like, what is going on here? And I found this thing called positive psychology. I'd been Googling, and because of Google, this this new certificate program. I found it. It was kind of dropped into my email, and it was through Kripalu and Tal Ben-Shahar, who's one of the thought leaders. He actually taught the #1 happiness course at Harvard. And when he started, there were maybe like 10 students, and when he left, there were 800.
Oh,
So
wow.
positive So there's nothing wrong in silver linings if you're not ignoring the reality. There's nothing wrong in looking for the good, but you got to take action behind the good. So what positive psychology is, it's a studied science. It's relatively new. To me, the easiest way of looking at it is we're really good at looking at that everything is broken in us. It's called the negativity bias. Our brain is conditioned to focus on what could have hurt us, our ancestors. When we used to go out hunting for food, we didn't have to worry about the carrot. We used to have to worry about the saber-toothed tiger that could, hurt us and kill us. Unfortunately, that part of our brain is the oldest, it's the strongest, and it's the first thing to fire up every morning. So how do we counteract our genetics, our DNA, how we are predisposed to see the negative in life and quite often in ourselves? So positive psychology is not ignoring what might need to be improved upon, but making the foundation of whatever it is that you're building, build it your family, your career, your relationship with yourself, from all that you are versus all that you're not. From working from the foundation of your strengths, your values, your passions, what brings you alive, versus this faulty foundation of you think you need to be thinner, younger, fitter, whatever it is. And then from this place of all that you are, we get to do the work to get you to where you would like to be. So a traditional therapist would say, Petra, when I first sit down with them, what needs to be fixed? What is not working in your life? A positive psychology coach or therapist would say, hey, Petra, tell me what's working in your life. And then from that place, we get to focus on what appreciate the good, and the good will appreciate from all that is going well, not ignoring. This is not Pollyanna. This is not ignoring the things we need to improve upon and change, but where we start, that is the difference.
That sounds like so much more fun.
Right?
So much more relatable.
Yeah.
Yeah. I call it the heart work, because the heart work, the heart work is really making friends between our head and our heart. And I say for so many years, and as a fitness expert, I studied from the neck down. Now I'm fascinated with what goes on between the ears.
Exactly. I just think that makes so much sense. And until I learn more about you, I'd never heard of this before. And it's all, you're right. I mean, it all makes sense. You have to find the positivity to get rid of the negativity. I mean, that's like you have to be positive first. It's so interesting. So now here we are in social media. We're online right now talking to you. I, had a call this morning about learning more about YouTube. I mean, there's everything. It's everything these days. And it's really interesting when you watch social media, you go through and read posts or whatever. Everything's so superficial and judged. So it's how many likes do you get? How many follows do you get? How many collaborations? And in a lot of times people monetize this. I mean, this is a living that people make. And so once you not to compare what you see, and Annie and I are pretty good about that. I think we aren't too judgy about who we follow or who we read, but we're trying to learn more about it and to maintain a healthy attitude toward it. But a lot of times you get caught up in it, you get frustrated. It's just exhausting. So I'm wondering, what should we be focused on? And what should we care about most when we're dealing with social media and in a kind of a social media business that we're in, like just trying to teach people more about aging enthusiastically. And what's the best way to do all of this? Do you have any ideas?
Yeah, well, I think, social media is a tool. It simply is a tool. It has no emotion. It has no preference, the algorithms, of course, but it's just a tool. So it's a great tool because it's removed all the gatekeepers. You want to publish a book on your own, you can publish a book. You want to reach millions, you can reach millions. I mean, all the gatekeepers have been removed. It's remarkable. And it's not what we use, it's how we use it. So there's two elements. For pretty much, I would say, everyone I'm working with, if you're building a business, you need to be online. You cannot ignore it. It would be foolish to ignore it. There are so many great things with social media. And the thing I would invite everyone to do is know why you're using it, when you're using it, and how you want to use it. If we're going on to spread a message of positivity, fantastic. If we're going on when we're bored to basically waste time, we're going to be in a problem state, because our brain, when it's idle, as is at its most primed to focus on the negative, to compare my backstory to everyone else's highlight reel. One of my favorite quotes is by Pastor Stephen Furtick. He says, the reason we're suffering with insecurity is because we're comparing our backstory to everyone else's highlight reel. Nothing wrong in that, as we can just realize what it is. It's a tool. And when we attach our own personal emotion, our own personal, things we don't like about ourselves, and then that we see that highlighted in everybody else, how they're winning and crushing it, know that everyone's posting their best self. And it's not a bad thing, but when we're comparing our reality to what's on social media, we're headed for nothing but disillusionment and pain. I love this quote by Petra Kolber. She said, there's a difference between pain and suffering. We are all in pain right now. There's global pain with the pandemic, but suffering is when we want things to be different than they are. And that's what social media does. It highlights the things the things that we're not, the white teeth that we don't have, the six-pack that we don't have, the 10 years that we're now older, all of that stuff. So I just invite everyone to consider, why are you going on? Notice that to be remarkable, which you all are if you're listening to this, you're going to be remarked upon. So you have to be prepared for the positive and the negative. And again, positivity slides off us like Teflon. Negativity tends to stick to us like Velcro. So make sure you're not going on with an idle mind. And then for me, at the end of the day, make sure you're measuring the right metrics. If you're measuring the likes, they're vanity metrics. Likes don't convert into business. What converts into business is you showing up consistently with the viewer, the end user in mind. So you're giving versus getting. If we're posting on social media to get more likes, to get more hits, to get more shares, it's never going to show up well. If you can post to give more, to share more, to help others feel well, then the right people will find you, the right people will be sharing the message. And at the end of the day, if we're really talking about social media, it's not about how many likes you get, it's how many shares. We need to put out content that people want to share, that they feel attached to, that they feel proud of sharing. So one thing is, make sure the content's not about us. How can I make content that helps others in their lives? And just minimize your time on there. Know why you're getting on. When you get off social media, measure how you're feeling. If you're not feeling great, maybe you need to kind of cull and detox who you're following. Those 5,000 close friends of yours, if they're not making you feel great, maybe it's time to gently unfollow.
It's brilliant. Just brilliant. Annie, don't you love that?
It makes so much sense. It really does, because there's sometimes, they say that you go on there just out of habit, out of behavior. I mean, that was their business model, to get you addicted. And so we are. And so every time you think about going on there, what is the purpose? Are you lonely? Are you bored? Are you actually looking for something? And you really make the point well. It really is like, I was on this morning. What did I accomplish?
Simple, but not easy, right? I know those days when I'm going, gosh, I feel great. I haven't been on social media for 2 days. Have I really missed it? Am I really that important? No, we're not that important. I hate to say it. None of us are. No. So we can go on to give versus get, measure the right metrics. Have we helped someone? Then it's a great tool. Not a bad tool. Nothing wrong with social media. It's how we use it that can be a negative.
Yeah, I love it.
I have a funny
really
story.
Puts it in perspective.
So when I took my little YouTube class this morning, and it was a live Zoom class, Annie and I have interviewed the teacher. She's an influencer in kind of in home DIY stuff, and she's lovely, a genuinely wonderfully nice, good person, and you can tell it comes through. So she was dropping her twin daughters off at college this week and did not post on Wednesday, and she usually does this things I buy post. and she did not post. And she said one of the mothers in the dorm came up to her and said, I follow you, and you didn't post this week. What's going on? And she said she took a step back and she said, oh my gosh, I'm really not that important. Do you really need to know what I'm wearing to buy this? Like she said, she's got 350,000 followers. She goes, I'm really not that important. And it just hit her. She said, oh my God, these people really like look for me every week and follow me. And she, in her mind, she's just up there having fun. So I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, that is. So we talk a lot about aging enthusiastically. That's our business. We want to help people, give people ideas on and inspire them to age enthusiastically. What can you tell us about the role of happiness in aging enthusiastically? What's your advice for that?
Yeah. And so again, there's the word happiness, right? And I love the word joy too, like sparking joy. And I think for me, it would be like, what do you want to be known for? Like we step into this part of our life that is miraculous, right? The other option is we're not here. I'm a 2-time cancer survivor. I am blessed to be here, blessed to be 58. And there are still many days I look in the mirror and all I can see is my neck and my yada, yada, yada. And at every moment we get a choice. So this is the power of positive psychology. Every moment between every inhale and before every exhale, we get do-overs. I get to go, I was feeling really bad about myself. Do I want to drag that from my past into my positive present to make it into a powerful future? No, I can choose to leave that there. So for me, there are 5 acronyms that build the pillars of positive psychology. The acronym is PERMA, PERMA. First one is positive emotion. E is engagement, R is relationships, M is meaning and purpose, and A is accomplishment. And I would say if you can touch on those 5 throughout your week, you're going to live a beautiful and joyful and engaged life as you age enthusiastically. P, positive emotion. What can you do not to be happy or sad, to be 1% happier this week? E, engagement. How engaged, how alive are you in your life? Or how busy are you watching other people's lives? R, relationships. When is the last time you picked up a phone to a friend, cultivated a relationship, sent a handwritten note of gratitude? The relationship with yourself. The one thing I learned as I get older, at the end of the day, it's me. It's me. I come into this world alone. I'm going to go out to this world alone, hopefully with someone beside me, but I don't know. M, the blue zones, the areas of the world where we age and thrive the most. There are 9 commonalities. One that comes at the top is a sense of meaning. Why we get up each day. What is your purpose? It doesn't have to be a massive P. It could be your grandkids, could be a vegetable garden. It could be photography, writing a book. Anything. But if we don't have our why, that Simon Sinek, start with why. If you don't have something that fires you up, it even lights a little flame in you, we're going to start not living our best life. And then A, accomplishments. We often look back to see what we've done, and we get to a certain age and we stop sometimes thinking there's so much more to accomplish. We start saying, I'm too old to do this. And I'm like, you get to choose. The one thing I hear from women especially is, am I still relevant? I'm like, are you? Only you get to decide. So, my goal is, as I step into this next iteration, I've pivoted so many times in my career, is I want to live the possibility. If not now, when? If not who? You. And at the end of the life, what I really want people to know is, this is the time to live and lead a life of your dreams versus leave this life with regret. That's the only thing I think is a massive failure. If you get to the end of your life and you go back and go, oh, what if I'd only tried this?
Right. That really reinforces, like, I as you were talking, I was trying to check some boxes off for me, and there's so many different times that I've undertaken something, and I can remember my mother saying, how do you know that you can even do that? And I'd say, I'm too afraid not to, because what if I don't try? And what if it's an opportunity that I miss? And that's what my fear is missing opportunities that are right in front of me.
Yeah, I think your mom's just trying to protect you, right?
Oh, like, yeah,
I never forget when I said,
never really worked outside the home much. She raised 7 of us, but it made me think, like, who am I? How do I think I can do this? And it really made me focus on that, just what you were talking about. It
Power of thought, power of suggestion. My mom, when I first got that Reebok contract, and I called her up and like, Mom, oh my gosh, I got this contract. It was 3 years and it was locked in. It was great money. And she goes, and I said, I can stop teaching 30 aerobics classes a week and I can maybe do 15. And she was trying to protect me. And the first thing was, what if it doesn't work out?
Mhm.
And that is
Yeah,
what
that's
happens to us. Yes. And that when so to me, what I love is nothing wrong in trying. That the try, FAIL,
Yeah.
first attempts in learning.
Right. Yeah.
That's all it is. Yeah.
I love that. It's one of your quotes. I think that's really, when I saw that, the FAIL, I said, oh my gosh, it makes so much sense. And, I always think, what do you have to lose? I mean, you got to try things. Next on my list is surfing. I'm gonna,
Ooh.
With
I'm
all
gonna
the sharks.
What was that?
See, look at that, Annie, just threw in that negativity there
Well,
right
it
away.
wasn't
I'm kidding. I'm
negativity.
kidding.
It's actually, I have a shark alert on my phone, and you should get it. It's called Sharktivity.
Oh, I had it.
And
Yeah.
there's at least 10 sharks off the coast right now.
Are you
I'm
serious?
going to California. She's
Okay,
talking.
go to California. That's where
Where?
you
California.
don't do
Okay.
it here.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
No,
okay. Well, let us know how it goes, Gretchen. I've
I
been
will.
thinking of surfing for so long and I haven't done it yet, but that's
I
awesome.
figure you're going to fall in the water, you fall in the water. But I just think, I mean, there's so many things I want to try. So I
Yeah.
think that's an easy one. I mean,
Yeah.
easy, but that was it. Petra, thank you so much for speaking with us today. You are such a joy and a bright light. I mean, even just looking at you on the screen, it's just, you made my day.
You're exuding positivity.
She is. It's like radiating all around her. It's beautiful in the heat of where you are in Florida today. So your website is it's petrakolber.com. You're on Instagram, same name.
Petra Kolber, Petra Kolber, Petra Kolber.
Your book, Perfection Detox. I know it's available on Amazon and anywhere else we'll post where you can get it. And I was watching your Perfection Detox. You have 3 great seasons on there that were so interesting to watch. So there's some really incredible people you interviewed on there. So
Thank you.
but thank you so much, and we're gonna post this, and when we do, I'm gonna include a bunch of your incredible quotes that I've read through the book and through I've seen other online things you've written about, and you really are just you're so smart and mindful, and just the things you say, you go, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like everything begins with a thought. Of course, like you're just
Right.
wonderful. So it's been a real pleasure to speak with you today.
Thank you both so much for your time and good luck with your surfing. I'm going to download that Shark app right now. I know, but
Yeah,
you never know when it might come in handy.
do it on the West Coast.
All right. See you later.
Thank you both. Thank you.
Bye. Bye.